All right. Any further questions? All right, seeing none, thank you so much for coming. With that, we'll move into approval of the minutes. Is there a motion to approve? Senator King. It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the minutes are approved. Moving into announcements for the week. First, please consider volunteering for the voter registration drive on October 15th. There's multiple locations to do so. You can sign up to volunteer at the link in the agenda. October 29th, SGA is partnering with the City of Manhattan to host a Safe Housing Summit. The event will be from 7 to 8:30 in the K-State Union Ballroom. Member participation from you all is highly encouraged. And lastly, continue to nominate students to join the second class of the intern program that will start on October 24th. Proxies for the week are Glasscock for Cruz, Hines for Montos, Jabin for Beasley, and Watkins for Bruce. SGA members of the week are Scott Heisey for his progress on ADA compliant parking, Aaron Stewart for his commitment to serving SGA on Parking Citations Appeals Board for multiple years, and Corey Sitek for his work with the Student Access Center. Quote of the week is, "There are no great people in this world, only great challenges which ordinary people rise to meet." William Frederick Halsey Jr. Moving into commendations, is there a motion to consider Resolution 33? Senator Coleman. It's been moved and seconded to consider Resolution 33. Will the author please come forward?
Resolution 19-2033, commendation to Dr. Deborah J. Bolton, by Nathan Bothwell, Madeline Burke, Michael Dowd, Ashlyn Gillespie, Creighton Glasscock, Sarah Pelton, and Haley Spellman. Whereas Dr. Deborah J. Bolton currently serves as a Director for Intercultural Learning and Academic Success in the Department of Diversity and Multicultural Student Affairs for Kansas State University, whereas the Kansas Geographic Alliance selected Dr. Bolton as the 2019 Kansas Geography Teacher of the Year, whereas for the past 15 years, her focus has been on social research in minority-majority communities, whereas through her outstanding research, Bolton provides awareness regarding the cultural fabric of Kansas and gives her energy in support of Kansas teachers and students, and whereas on September 19th, 2019, Dr. Bolton led a workshop about intercultural confidence for the Kansas State University Student Governing Association. Be it resolved that Section 1, the Kansas State University Student Governing Association commends Dr. Deborah Bolton for her commitment to address the inequities of student success. KSUSJ thanks Dr. Bolton for investing her time in bettering the student body of Kansas State University. Section 2, upon passage by the Student Senate and signature of the Student Body President, a copy of this resolution shall be sent out to Dr. Deborah Bolton, Director of Intercultural Learning and Academic Success, Charles Martin, Geography Department Head, Dr. Brian Samuel, Chief Diversity Inclusion Officer, Adrian Rodriguez, Associate Vice President for Student Life and Diversity and Multicultural Student Affairs, Michelle Benevento, Administrative Assistant, and University President Richard B. Myers.
All right, with that, are there any questions or corrections for the author? All right, seeing none, is there a motion on Resolution 33? Senator King. To approve? Unanimously? Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve Resolution 33 unanimously. Are there any objections? Seeing none, Resolution 33 is approved. Right, is there a motion to consider Resolution 34? Senator Beasley. It's been moved and seconded to consider Resolution 34. Will the author please come forward?
Resolution 19-2033, commendation, no. Resolution 19-2034, commendation to HALO 13 Annual Midwest HALO Encuentro by Natalia Rodriguez. Whereas on October 1st, 2019, the Hispanic American Leadership Organization at Kansas State University hosted the 13th annual Midwest Halo Encuentro, whereas the goal of the Encuentro is to provide an environment where Hispanic colleges and high school students from across Kansas can learn about the unexpected challenges they may encounter during their collegiate years, as well as how others have overcome those challenges and attained their educational goals, whereas it is also an educational tool that assists in Latino student identity development, whereas students had the opportunity to attend several sessions taught by K-State faculty and students who had touched on issues like higher education, being a first-generation student, and more, and whereas this year's event had over 600 students from 23 high schools and colleges, be it resolved that Section 1, Kansas State University Student Governing Association, commends Halo and Diversity and Multicultural Student Affairs leadership for their ongoing efforts and commitment to bring other high school and college students to learn about higher education. Section 2, upon passage by the Student Senate and signature of the Student Body President, a copy of this resolution shall be sent to Francisco Cardoza, Halo President, Adrian Rodriguez, Associate Vice President for Student Life of Diversity and Multicultural Student Affairs, Mirta Chavez, Director of Multicultural Programs and Services, Tremaine Lindsay Jr., Director of Diversity and Multicultural Student Life, Caitlin Wells, Program Coordinator, and University President B. Myers.
Right, are there any questions or corrections for the author? Senator Beasley.
On the last, on line 20, W period.
Okay, we've got that changed. Chair Wierzchowski. Any further questions or corrections? Right, seeing none, is there a motion on Resolution 34? Chair Booz. It's been moved and seconded to approve Resolution 34 unanimously. Are there any objections? Right, seeing none, Resolution 34 is approved. Right, is there a motion to consider Resolution 35? Senator Oxner. It's been moved and seconded to consider Resolution 35. Will the author please come forward?
All right, resolution, whoa, easy there. Resolution 192035, the accommodation to the Kansas State University Meets Judging Team. Whereas the Kansas State University Meets Judging Team began competition in 1927 and is the only school in the nation to participate in every international and American Royal contest since then. Whereas the Kansas State University has remained a leader in intercollegiate meets judging across the Big 12 and across the nation. Whereas every spring, the KSU Meets Judging Team competes in international contests across the nation, including contests in Denver, Fort Worth, Houston, Ames, and Dakota City. Whereas the 2019 KSU Meets Judging Team competed against 83 students representing 10 colleges at the Eastern National Meets Judging Contest in Wyalusing, Pennsylvania. Whereas for the first time in 69 years, the KSU Meets team won the Eastern National Contest as the overall high team. Whereas the 2019 KSU Meets team returned home with numerous awards, including first place honors in team reasons, team specifications, team beef judging, and team pork judging. And whereas every individual on the placings and alternate teams ranked within the top 8 individuals in the entire contest. Be it resolved that Section 1, the Student Governing Association commends the 2019 Kansas State University Meets Judging Team for their first place honors at the Eastern National and for their display of hard work, teamwork, and dedication to excellence. And Section 2, oops, there's a typo. Upon passage by the Student Senate and the signature of the Student Body President, a copy of this resolution shall be sent to the 2019 Kansas State University Meets Judging Team, Meets Judging Coach, Dr. Travis O'Quinn, Department of Animal Sciences Head, Dr. Michael Day, College of Agricultural Dean, Dr. Ernest Minton, and University President Richard B. Myers.
Right, are there any questions or corrections for the author other than the Section 2? Right, seeing none, is there a motion to approve Resolution 35? Senator Oxner. Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve Resolution 35 unanimously. Are there any objections? Seeing none, Resolution 35 is approved. Right, moving into approval of appointments, is there a motion to consider Resolution 36? Senator Coker. It's been moved and seconded to consider Resolution 36. Will the author please come forward?
All right, you've probably seen me up here like 6 times at this point. Resolution 19-2036, approval of new student senator by Senate Operations Committee. Whereas there is currently one vacancy for the position of student senator for the College of Health and Human Sciences, whereas the Senate Operations Committee has exhausted the candidates from the 2019 SGA general election in the process of filling vacancies, whereas after exhausting the candidates from the 2019 SGA general election, the relevant college council has the opportunity to fill the vacant position, whereas if the college council does not appoint a person to fill the vacancy within 2 weeks after they are contacted, the relevant college caucus has the opportunity to fill the vacant position, and whereas the Health and Human Sciences College Caucus has appointed Shaylin Ward for this position. Be it resolved that, Section 1, the following individual be approved as a student senator for the College of Health and Human Sciences, Shaylin Ward.
Right, are there any questions or corrections for the author? Seeing none, is there a motion on Resolution 36? Caucus Leader Spellman. It's been moved and seconded to approve Resolution 36 unanimously. Are there any objections? Seeing none, Resolution 36 is approved. Shaylin, if you'll come forward. So you'll just go ahead and raise your right hand, and you'll just say, "I will," at the end. So I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of student senator and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association. And then you'll say your name, hometown, major, and favorite smell.
Favorite smell?
Yeah.
Okay. My name's Shaylin Ward, as she said. My major is nutrition and kinese pre-med with gerontology, and I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Jinx, Oklahoma, actually, if anyone knows what that is. And my favorite smell, I really like sour candy. I know it doesn't really have a smell, but Sour Patch Kids are pretty good, so.
Right, with that, we'll now move into committee reports. Are there any committee chairs that would like to give a report? Chair Booz.
All right, so I have a couple things for everyone today. So first, to talk about vacancies. So we just swore in one more person, meaning that we are at 58 people sworn in. And we should have 2 more people to swear in next week. So we actually should get to 60, which is something that I am told hasn't happened in a very long time. So, you know, I'm glad that we're able to get to this point, and hopefully we'll get to 62, but I'll continue working on that. Second thing is we discussed, again, the bill that the Senate Operations has been working on for the definitive campaign and social media regulation last Monday. We were hoping to submit it for tonight, but unfortunately it wasn't quite ready enough to do that. So we will submit it to be introduced next week. And so if you've got any comments about that, please let me know or come to the Senate Operations meeting. Hopefully we can quickly submit that and then move on to discussing a little bit about the appointment of the Elections Commissioner and various duties related to that. So we may not get to that, but we should end up there. Finally, I wanted to remark on the deadline for submitting legislation. We had a couple of bills this week that were submitted late, and we ended up allowing all of them. We didn't feel comfortable allowing some of them, and honestly, that doesn't make sense. So really, I just want to reiterate up here that we do have a deadline. It's 5 o'clock on Mondays, and it's for a reason. Really, I want to be able to plan how we'll distribute these to be looked at by Senate Operations members, and I want to make sure that everyone on Senate Operations has the chance to, look at these bills and not necessarily have them be submitted after the fact. And so, really, that 5 is going to become from now on a hard deadline. There will only be pretty much 2 exceptions. The first one is if you email me after you submit it or after you have it done or even before is helpful, and explain not only why you did not submit this before 5, but also why it's important that it go through this week and be introduced this week as opposed to any other week. And then the second one is if you come to the Senate Operations meeting and kind of present your legislation there. And so we can look it over and ask you questions about your intent so that we can do a better job at evaluating and editing the legislation, because that's really what we're doing. So if you've got any questions about those, please let me know. And please still email me if you have something that you really want to get in. But those will be pretty much the only 2 exceptions. So that's it. If you have any questions, please let me know.
All right, any questions for Chair Booz? Caucus Leader Glasscock.
Well, obviously you cannot turn it in after after Senate Operations is finished meeting. I would prefer that you send me an email before Senate Operations starts at 8 o'clock. I will not accept anything after that deadline.
All right, further questions? All right, seeing none, are there any further committee chairs that would like to give a report? Chair Watkins.
Everybody, so Hannah kind of mentioned this at the beginning, but there's 2 things I want to talk about real quick. I sent out an email to everybody on Monday that had 2 important attachments. The first is an attachment link to a survey. This survey is in preparation for the Safe Housing Summit that will be on October 29th in the Union Ballroom from 7 to 8:30. If you rent, please fill that out because we need that information. Also share it with anybody else. They don't have to be a student. That same survey is getting sent out to renters in the Manhattan community, the faculty and staff, and then soldiers stationed at Fort Riley. So just share the word on that and come to the event because there's going to be a lot of information that's important that you guys can share with your constituents and your friends that might rent. So come to that. And then the other attachment was a Google Sheet sign up to work for the voter registration drive. As Hannah mentioned, there's 5 locations that you guys can work at. The shifts are by hour, so it's not overburdensome. You can come out and work for 1 hour after you get done with class. The other nice thing about that is there's 5 locations. So the Union, outside the Union of Bosco Plaza, Leadership Studies, the Engineering Building, and the Business Building. So please consider signing up for that. It's a great way to get community service if you need that as well. So any questions?
Any questions for Chair Watkins? Right, seeing none, are there any further committee chair reports? Are there any directors' reports? President Penny.
Just a few things tonight. Something that is going to be coming up in Faculty Senate is an excused absence policy. So what that is it'll be something that is mandated for all professors, faculty to put inside their syllabi, and it will go over a set policy that for all of us students. So kind of what that is going to look like is that if there is a legit excuse to be gone from school, and that includes like physical health things that can be provided with a note, or if you're doing something like for the betterment of the university, and they have a lot better wording than that, but that would be things such as athletes who are traveling to go to different games. That would be even different leaders like us going to the Kansas Board of Regents and some other things like that a lot of different student leaders do, and some organizational things that the faculty would not be allowed to penalize you based on you not being there, and they would have to allow you the full opportunity to make up all the points from that day. So it's something that is best practice in a lot of the other universities as well. So that's something that we're really excited about that is coming up, and we might be reaching out to you all for feedback if that does get contentious in Faculty Senate. Next, in Tuition and Fee Strategy Committee on Tuesday, the committee approved the Health and Human Sciences fee review. So we reviewed past fees that have been passed by Health and Human Sciences, and that's like $20 for all classes under Health and Human Sciences, $15 for kinesiology, $30 for apparel, textiles, and interior design, and $50 per credit hour for personal financial planning. That all got approved, and Dean Buckwalter came in and did a lot of presenting on that. And then lastly, this is probably going to be the last that I touch about it on a while until there's a lot more happening. But with the progress on e-scooters here on campus and in Manhattan, first of all, we really want to thank you all for your feedback that you've given on that. It's something that we shared with the city commissioners and with a lot of stakeholders here on campus and at the city as well. And so the city and the campus are moving forward with putting together a request for proposals to go out to those scooter companies. And those are going to be very long requests that include everything with the specific geofencing that we want, speed limits, what they're responsible for, and what we are with how they're going to pay people to charge them if they're going to come and paint these stripes on some of our sidewalks and all these different things. So right now we are meeting within the university to determine where those are going to be allowed, where they're not, how fast they're going to go, how they're going to be enforced, what the fines are going to be, and what role everyone plays there. So it's a great discussion that's going to probably take a while, and the first we would probably see them is mid-spring 2020 launch. That's all.
Right, are there any questions for President Penny? Senator Hamlin.
So the scooters? Yep, and so the scooters, the campus and university will actually net profit from it. And so like, as for instance, like a bird, it costs $1 to start, and then 15 cents or more per minute or per mile after that. And so what a lot of different companies do is they give $1 per scooter per day back to the place where they come from. So that'll probably go into the city university fund, which funds a lot of different infrastructure things and things that apply to both the campus and the city, such as crosswalks and different like roads bordering around. So we'll actually earn money from that, and then we will allocate it out. So.
Okay, Senator Snyder.
So that'll come in directly from day one, and so let's see. We had a big meeting about it. If we had 200 scooters, it's above like 50,000 a year of what we would probably make off of that, and then a lot of that money would probably go back into some of the programs that are going to have to be ran as far as education from RCPD, education for campus police, and different signage, markings, everything that parking services and like transportation is going to have to do here on campus.
Okay, are there any further questions? All right, seeing none, we'll now move into College Caucus time.
Okay, hey everybody. We're going to be moving into a short 15-ish minute College Caucus time tonight. Your College Caucus leaders are going to be discussing the legislative process, how to submit legislation. For some of you who've been in SGA for a while, this is probably stuff you're familiar with already. But we've had a lot of new senators filled because Chair Booz has done such a good job on filling vacancies. So we want to make sure that all of our members are up to date and all like caught up to speed on all these processes. So we're going to be splitting by our academic colleges. So would all the caucus leaders like stand up, wave a hand, so people know where you are? So we're going to be going with each of your caucus leader. If they don't know who it is, come find me and I'll point you in the right direction. I am actually going to be taking the College of Health and Human Sciences because Bryn Carlson isn't here, and Hannah is going to be taking the College of Business because Sarah Pelton isn't here. But if there's no further questions, split, go with your caucus leaders, and we'll all meet back in roughly 15 to 20-ish minutes.
business, we're going to Radina's. All right, Student Senate, let's go ahead and start finding our seats, please. When everybody finds their seat, we'll get started. Okay, now moving into minor allocations, is there a motion to approve the minor allocations? Senator Beasley. Minor allocations, good all together. Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded to approve the minor allocations. All those in favor, aye. Those opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. The minor allocations are approved. Moving next into final action, will the author of Bill 18 please come forward? Have any changes been made?
No.
First right to debate.
All right, so this is the trial allocation to the Asian American Student Union. So this is basically going to give a group of the Asian American Student Union to be able to go to the Asian American Student Union National Leadership Conference or Summit in Wichita, Kansas. So basically they'll have the opportunity to network with professionals in their respective fields and get to basically make their organization a lot better.
Right, are there any questions for our speaker? Right, is there any debate in the negative? Further debate in the positive? Any debate at all? Right, seeing none, we'll now move into into roll call.
Someone could make a motion to bulk roll call.
Senator Hines.
There's only 2 bills. Yeah.
Is there a second to bulk? Okay. It's been moved and seconded to bulk roll calls bills 18 and 19. All those in favor, aye. Those opposed, same sign. Right, bills 18 and 19 will be bulk roll called. Will the author of bill 19 please come forward? Have any changes been made?
No.
First right to debate.
All right, so this is the trial allocation to the Kansas State Public Relations Student Society of America. So they're basically going to be able to attend they're basically the Public Relations Student Society of America National Conference in San Diego, California. They're going to listen to a bunch of keynote speakers, have a bunch of breakout sessions, and be able to help their organization. And I guess just one major side note, they're only taking 3 people, so that's why it's for $300. That's the maximum we can fund them.
All right, are there any questions for our speaker? All right, seeing none, any debate in the negative? Any debate in the positive? Any debate at all? Okay, we'll move into bulk roll call on bills 18 and 19. Just a reminder, that's yes to all, yes to 1, no to 2, etc.
Okay, so before we get started, I just wanted to remind everyone the different ways that there are to vote. So remember, you actually have 4 options whenever it comes to a vote. You can vote yes, you can vote no, you can vote to abstain, which means you're like not voting basically, and then you can vote to pass. So a person like might abstain, like if they were like in an organization that we're funding, just because that's like a conflict of interest, or if it's like they actually don't want to vote, like they don't want to make a decision on it. And then you might pass if you want to see how everyone else is voting before it goes to you. Since we're doing a bulk roll call vote right now, you would just say like which bill you're doing if you felt differently. So you would say like yes to all if you're voting yes to both, but you would say like yes to 18, no to 19 if you were doing it like that. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, perfect. And that's your like daily tip with Nathan. So we will now move into bulk roll call vote on bills 18 and 19. So Al Abdullah? Al Madani? Beasley? Belina? Betancourt? Bond? Booz? Bowers? Boykin? Brentsey? Burke? Carlson? Carr? Clark? Clements? Coggeshall? Colasico? Cruz? Dowd? Frederick? Gallardo? Gilliland King? Gillespie? Glasscock? Hamlin? Hines? Huffman? Jabin? Jonak? Kelly? Kerperin? Kidd? King? Koger? Kurzweil? Coleman? Lux? Matos? Meinhardt? Oxner? Orzakowski? Pelton? Payton? Thank you. Phillips? Prus? Rivera? Rodriguez? Reichert? Slichter? Smith? Snyder Ben? Snyder Blaine? Spellman? Wallace? Kelly, Ward Kelly? Ward Shalen? Watkins? Whitmer? Zimmerman? Bill 18 passes. Sorry. Oh, did you not vote? Okay. 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 Bill 18 passes 46 to 0 to 1, and Bill 19 passes 47 to 0 to 0.
Okay, with that, we'll now move into introduction of legislation. Is there a motion to consider Bill 20? Senator Koger. It's been moved and seconded to consider Bill 20. Will the author please come forward? It's been moved and seconded to allow the author to summarize. Are there any objections? You may summarize.
Thank you, Senator Koger. I'm just going to read the whereas clauses because those are really short. So Bill 19-2020, amendments to the Kansas State University Student Governing Association Constitution concerning pronouns by Nathan Bothwell. Whereas it is necessary to continuously review the Kansas State University Student Governing Association Constitution, whereas the KSU SGA Constitution uses multiple sets of pronouns to refer to members of SGA, including he/she, his/her, and him/her. Whereas on September 18th, 2019, Merriam-Webster officially added the singular non-binary pronoun they as an entry in its dictionary, whereas KSU SGA is making a conscious effort to be more inclusive of all people, including members of the LGBTQ+ community, whereas amending the KSU SGA Constitution is a small way to use more inclusive language, and whereas it is simply more visually appealing to read the singular word they instead of multiple different pronoun constructions. I'll just kind of tell you what those changes are. So in section 1, I just changed the him/her to them. Section 2, it just said him/her twice. I just changed the student body president just so it was clear because there's a lot of people referred to in that section. In section 3, on line 44, I just changed he/she to be they, and then made the subject-verb agreement match. Same thing on line 56. On line 74 and 77, same thing where him/her was changed to them. And then on line 88, his/her was changed to their. And then on line 100, he/she has was changed to they have. And then Section 7, this amendment shall take effect upon passage by the Student Senate, signature of the student body president, and ratification by the college and school councils.
Right, are there any questions or corrections for the author? Chair Orzechowski.
Yes, it should. I only Control F'd the governing documents for the ones that I listed. Did not notice that there was a spot that said he or she. That correction will be made.
Okay, any further questions or corrections for the author? Right, seeing none, is there a motion to consider Bill 21? Chair Booz. It's been moved and seconded to consider Bill 21. Will the author please come forward?
Bill 19-2021, Amendment to the Kansas State University Student Governing Association Statutes regarding Senate attendance policies by Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. Whereas student senators are subject to the attendance policy set in Chapter 52, Section 0211 of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association statutes, whereas one excused absence, excluding scheduled class, story review sessions, and exams, is allowed per semester for academic purposes within the parameters of the current policy, whereas furthermore, all absences are considered an excuse if the Speaker of the Student Senate is not notified 24 hours in advance of Student Senate meetings, 3 of which constitute grounds for expulsion, whereas there were 24 meetings of the 2018-2019 Student Senate, whereas according to the Section 506 of the KSU-SGA Constitution, a student senator may appoint another student senator as a proxy voter for a meeting providing that the absent has been excused by the Speaker of the Student Senate, and a student senator may carry only one proxy, whereas student senate quorum is not in jeopardy when a proxy is assignated in advance of a meeting because it is impossible for over half of student senate to be absent on the proxy, whereas the rigors of student life often fall outside the margins of strictly academic purposes and within the 24 hours leading up to the student senate, including but not limited to being called into work, homework, and mental or physical health, whereas Article 4, Section 9 of the KSU-SGA bylaws states that the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Standing Committee shall work to explore and develop policies and programs to increase interest and participation in KSU-SGA from the student body, specifically for traditionally underrepresented communities for students. Whereas the KSU-SGA Demographic Survey, administered at the start of 2019-2020 Student Senate term by the DEI Standing Committee, found that 100% of organization members who identified as not white were employed. The KSU-SGA demographic survey also found that 72% of organization members who identified as white were employed, whereas KSU-SGA members who identified as non-white and underrepresented community of students all have commitments to work on top of their role in the organization as well as day-to-day academics, whereas mandating near-perfect attendance make KSU-SGA a priority over homework, employment, and personal well-being, further excluding those with outside commitments, and whereas Student Senate needs an attendance policy that better accommodates and engages its members, be it enacted that Section 1, Chapter 52, Section 011 of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association statutes is hereby amended to read as follows. 520211 Attendance Policies. A. The Student Senate Secretary shall call roll at the beginning and end of each Student Senate meeting immediately following the Pledge of Allegiance and at the completion of the meeting agenda. Standing committee chairs and SGA interns shall be included in both such roll calls. Each roll call miss shall count as one half of an absence, unless the person is already excused for the meeting. No one can receive more than one unexcused absence for each meeting of Student Senate. 1. SGA intern attendance requirements shall be set by the intern coordinators upon the intern's acceptance into the program. B. In determining whether an absence is excused or unexcused, the Speaker of the Student Senate shall use the following policy. 1. Excused absences. All absences will be considered excused if the Speaker of the Student Senate is notified more than 24 hours in advance and a proxy is designated. 2. Special case excused absences. Circumstances exist that prevent such advance notification. Therefore, student senators shall be allowed 3 additional excused absences per semester to be taken for the following reasons if the Speaker of the Student Senate is notified less than 24 hours in advance but prior to the start of Student Senate, and if a proxy is designated. A, mental or physical health. B, academic purposes. C, unanticipated work-related circumstances. D, family emergencies. 3, unexcused absences. All other absences will be considered unexcused. 4, the Speaker of the Student Senate will consider all other circumstances on an individual basis. This specifically includes any emergency situations which may arise. 5, never mind. C, a total of 3 unexcused absences from Student Senate shall be granted for expulsion. A total number of absences from Student Senate that exceeds half the meetings in the given term shall be granted for expulsion. A total of 3 unexcused absences from committee meetings shall be granted for expulsion. Section 2. This bill shall take effect upon passage of the Student Senate and signature of the Student Body President.
Are there any questions for the author? Senator Hines.
Because we're here to represent the student body, and if you're not here for more than half of the Student Senate, I feel like you're not really engaging and doing your job pretty much.
Granted.
So that part, I'm asking why half instead of like a third or a quarter?
That's just the number of absences that we came up in the committee.
Further questions? Chair Booz.
Should part C starting on line 109, should that be italicized as I believe it's or at least part of it?
Yes? Yes.
That was more of a correction.
Yeah, sorry. The sentence starting on line 110, a total number of absences, that sentence should be italicized. That will be corrected.
Okay, any further questions for the author? Chair Booz.
Why does this bill like balance accountability and like giving student senators enough leeway in the best way possible?
Pretty much because we know that you have other commitments outside of student government, and a lot of those are like really excuses that you need to do, like mental health and family emergencies and stuff like that. And because we know that if you're here, it's because you take your job seriously, so you shouldn't and you wouldn't be missing more than Senate anyways. And we just want to like make sure that whenever we're coming to Student Senate and we're like initiate and we're like not making people, but like telling people to like join SGA and be more involved in the student government, they have an opportunity to do it and they don't feel like they have to give all their time commitment while they have other stuff going on in their lives.
Further questions? Chair Watkins. No feel. No personal.
Does setting the bar at half send the wrong message to students about what our intentions are and how ours work?
I don't think it does, because if you're here, it's because you're willing to represent the student body and you're gonna take your job seriously again. And it's just like more like leaving you a leeway for stuff that you have to do, not because you just want to meet students and just because you want to.
All right, further questions? Senator Brinsey, sorry.
It has not, but we really invite you to come over to DI on Monday at 8 p.m. to like let us know if you have any other things that you would like to add or amend. Yep.
Okay, any further questions? Caucus Leader Kidd.
As a quick follow-up to that question, if we can't be at that meeting, could we Zoom into that one?
We are always willing to meet with you whenever you can. And I feel like I speak for most of the DI committee that you can meet with us whenever you can. Yeah.
Okay, any further questions? Senator Clark.
If one is going to run for student senate, shouldn't they have the expectation?
No, hypothetical.
Should students try to attend senate as much as possible, and if they are not able to attend senate?
No, back part, hypothetical. Okay, any further questions? Are there further questions for the speaker? All right, Seeing none, is there a motion to consider Bill 22? Senator Koger. It's been moved and seconded to consider Bill 22. Will the author please come forward?
Bill 19, 2022, fiscal year 19 closing of accounts corrections by Hannah Heatherman, Cy Mari, and Jansen Penny. Whereas in accordance with the Kansas State University Student Governing Association funding statutes, the KSU SGA treasurer is required to close the academic competition team, campus-wide organization, college council, institutional services, multicultural organization, and fine arts council student group accounts that retain unused funds on an annual basis. Whereas Bill 19-2004 contained an accounting error for institutional service organizations, whereas Bill 19-2004 cleared $21.80 from NISA 004 to NISA Reserve. And whereas the Center for Advocacy, Response, and Education Office had a remaining account balance of $1,196.25. Be it enacted that Section 1, the amount listed below shall revert from the respective institutional services accounts back to the reserve contingencies for that account.
Okay, are there any questions or corrections for the author? Seeing none, is there a motion to consider Resolution 23, or Bill 23? Senator Clements. It's been moved and seconded to consider Bill 23. Will the author please come forward? Senator Slater. It's been moved and seconded to allow the author to summarize. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, same sign. All right, you may summarize.
Thank you. So the American Choral Directors Association's holding, or they want to host Curtis Golej, who's a renowned artist in gospel music, and they're just hoping to hold a concert and workshop with that artist on December 8th and 9th. So they're requested $1,700, and we recommended that amount to cover his fees.
Right, are there any questions or corrections for the author? Seeing none, is there a motion to consider Bill 24? Senator Oxner. It's been moved and seconded to consider Bill 24. Will the author please come forward? Senator Oxner. It's been moved and seconded to allow the author to summarize. Chair Booth. It's been moved and seconded to allow the authors of Bill 24, 25, and 26 to summarize. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, same sign. Right, you may summarize.
All right, so the investment club is traveling to the Chicago Stock Exchange. They're going to be learning about different strategies to get jobs in the industry. Their attendees, they get a chance to learn different types of investment management industries that they can go into. We're recommending $1,000. They are taking 15 students, so yeah.
Any questions or corrections for the author? Right, seeing none, is there a motion to consider Bill 25? Senator Beasley. It's been moved and seconded to consider Bill 25. Will the author please come forward? Our first intern presenting legislation for the year, I think.
I'll just go ahead and summarize it though. So the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers are wanting to send 8 people to the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers National Convention in Phoenix, Arizona. They requested $1,000, recommended $800, just because $100 per student. So, yep.
Right, are there any questions or corrections for the author? Seeing none, is there a motion to consider Bill 26? Senator Coleman. It's been moved and seconded to consider Bill 26. Will the author please come forward?
All right, so this is the travel location to the Society of Women Engineers. So basically, they'll be sending a group of, I think it's, they'll be sending a group of 20 students to the National Society of Women Engineers Conference in Anaheim, California. So they'll basically get to learn from other women in their respective fields and get to learn about like different opportunities in the College of Engineering and ways to get involved in their different areas of expertise.
Right. Are there any questions or corrections for the author? Right. Seeing none, we'll now move into second open period. Are there any second open period speakers? Caucus Leader Spellman.
Hello again. So I have 3 updates for you all tonight. The first one starting with the Elections Committee. The Elections Committee application is now open. So if you are interested in applying to be on the committee, one big qualification is that you can't run for an office for next year. So say if you're a sophomore wanting to run for Senate again, you would not be eligible to serve on the Elections Committee. But anyone that is not planning on running would and should apply. There would be 5 members on the committee, and applications are going to close on Sunday, October 20th at midnight. So you have about a week and a half to fill out that application. Update number 2 is something that Chair Watkins kind of briefly mentioned, is the upcoming voter registration drive. So thank you to those that have already signed up to volunteer. I have gotten one more person since the Senate meeting has started. If you are available to volunteer on Tuesday, October 15th, that's this coming Tuesday, anywhere between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., please fill out that form. I really need people to man the tables and get students registered to vote. So please at least consider volunteering for that voter registration drive that day. Third and final update I have for you is for Wildcats Vote. I briefly touched on it last week. We are now officially a meeting student organization. So if anyone's interested in talking about the voter registration drive for Tuesday, the next Wildcats Vote meeting is going to be on October 14th. That's on Monday from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. and Union 205. I stand for questions.
Right. Any questions? Senator Rodriguez.
Yes, so I am in the process of creating the schedule right now. Because I am a little short on volunteers, I'm trying to make sure everyone has a time. There's at least one person running the table at all times. Ideally 2, which is why I'd love to have more of you sign up. But hopefully that email will be in your inbox either Saturday or Sunday once I have a more finalized schedule.
Okay, further questions? Caucus Leader Kidd.
So for your first point, so the individual cannot file, but can they still be a senator if there are vacancies in the future?
Yes.
If it reaches that point of the vacancy process.
That's a good question.
Right, are there further questions? Chair Watkins.
Can you phrase it in a way that it's not a hypothetical?
I'll allow it if it's.
It would still, you couldn't be actively campaigning.
No active campaigning. So, all right. Yes.
I just wanted to confirm, what was the time for your Wildcats Vote meeting?
5:30 to 6:30 p.m. in Union 205.
Okay,
on Monday.
Thank you.
Right, are there any further questions for Caucus Leader Spellman? Right, seeing none, are there any further second open period speakers? Intern Coordinator Colburn. Right, are there any questions? Senator, okay. Any further second open period speakers? Senator Oxner.
Yeah, so just want to let everyone, the Special Committee on Rules and Success had its first meeting last week. Should have put this in your report, but didn't. So we had a good meeting and outlined some goals. We'll be meeting again. That date is to be determined. We're changing it around and fixing most of the time. Had some really good questions about what the committee is doing, some goals. Always, feel free to reach out to me if you have questions. We always have to have people to attend our meetings, and I'm always happy to tell you about what we're all about or provide you with data on rules and success. So everything's going well. We will inform you all when we are meeting next.
Right, any questions for Chair Oxner? Right, seeing none, any further second open period speakers? Intern Coordinator Howie?
Not SGA related, but next Tuesday from 5 to 6 in Wildcat Chambers, we're having K-State Crowd volunteer training. If you haven't heard of K-State Crowd before, it's the largest on-campus student play dedicated to keeping students on campus in really extenuating circumstances. For example, like the student got hit by a bike in a crosswalk earlier this year. Through donations for K-State Crowd shirts, we were able to keep them on campus. So we would love to have all of you guys here. You learn how to table when we ask for donations for the shirts. And it's here in Wildcat Chambers next Tuesday, the 15th, from 5 to 6.
All right, any questions? All right, seeing none, any further second open period speakers? Intern Coordinator Colburn?
Sorry, this is unrelated to the intern program, but tonight at 7, there was a forum on campus at Lead Studies for the city commissioners. If you are registered to vote in Manhattan, not in your hometown, then you are eligible to vote for Manhattan city commissioners and Manhattan school district. I know it doesn't seem like it affects you, but it will, especially if you see yourself living in Manhattan in the future. Then the school district election really affects you, and city commission affects you right now. Those people make lots of decisions regarding safe housing and affordable housing, as well as countless other things on campus and across the city, of course. Like you care about crosswalks and the fact that people get hit every single year. The city commission, in addition to SGA, has a big hand in deciding how that gets solved. So we couldn't go to tonight's forum because of like it was happening during Senate. There's another one on October 21st. Google Manhattan City Commission like candidates forum. There's going to be like 3 that pop up. I really encourage you to go. If not, at least like do some research online and vote. No one votes in local elections except for really old people, and they don't always represent really young people. And we're a substantial part of town. So county advice, learn and vote.
Right, any questions? Cox Leader Spellman.
Not a question, but in 2017 there was a 4% voter turnout, so please vote.
All right, any further questions? Further second open period speakers? Senator Jonek.
Okay, also not SGA related, but tonight is Waffles for Wishes at Chi Omega. It's at our house from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. It's $5, and it's a drive-through, so you don't have to get out of your car. But we're raising money for Make-A-Wish, so stop by. We don't have anything to do with your Senate.
Any questions? Right, any further second open period speakers? Caucus Leader Kidd.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So I am up here tonight for many reasons. I've been told I have a reputation for talking during second open periods, so I'm going to fill it out for today. But secondly, I wanted to ask the question to see if anyone knew the answer. So when giving the Pledge of Allegiance, do you pause around the station or not, or do you not pause? Only because I've heard both ways. When I first joined Senate 6 years ago.
Oh, wait.
There was a resolution in Student Senate that unfortunately was tabled indefinitely to solve this issue in 1999. So if you want to go back, get some historical context, and we can put together another bill and decide one way or another. So we can have that conversation. So currently, no pause.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Okay. All right, any further second open period speakers? Okay, further second open period speakers. Okay, before Nate goes, I do have one announcement. Next Thursday, the 17th at 5:30 p.m. in JP's. We're having a pizza and parlay night. So if you want to learn more about parlay, have some fun with like Max and Justin's going to help. I'll be there. Get some free food before Senate. Great opportunity to have some fun learning about those things, but also to meet more student senators. Okay, Nate.
Hey everybody. So for open period, first I have one thing that I really want to congratulate two people in this room right now, Natalia Rodriguez and Michael Dowd. So last Sunday, within the span of 24 hours, I had two different people either texting or emailing me asking me how to write legislation or anything like that. That was SGA dad proud moment kind of thing. I was so happy when the two of you reached out asking how to do that. I would hope that more people continue to do things like that in the future. I think that's really awesome that we have members of our organization who are willing to take initiative and stuff. So first, a round of applause to those two individuals. And then the second announcement, kind of keeping with just casual hangout stuff. There's a lot of us who go to Buffalo Wild Wings every Thursday after Student Senate. You are more than invited to come at any point. Don't you do that, Nathan. Oh, you're not going tonight? Oh, okay, darn it. Well, I'm still probably gonna go. So if anyone wants to go to Buffalo Wild Wings with me, I'll be going. Really fun, great time. So always in the future, if you're looking for somewhere to go after Senate, I'll be doing that.
Okay, are there any questions? All right, moving into reference of legislation, bills 20 and 21 will be referred to the Senate Operations Committee, bills 22 and 23 to the On-Campus Allocations Committee, and 24 through 26 to travel. And with that, we'll move into second roll call.
Al Abdullah, Al Madani, Beasley, Belina, Betancourt, Bond, Booz,
Side conversations to a minimum.
Bowers,
Don't pack up.
Boykin, Brenzy, Burke, Carlson, Carr, Clark, Clements, Coggeshall, Colosico, Cruz, Dowd, Frederick, Gallardo, Gilliland King, Gillespie, Glasscock, Hamlin, Hines, Huffman, Jabin, Jonak, Kelly, Kerperin, Kidd, King, Koger, Kurzweil, Coleman, Lux, Matos, Meinhardt, Oxner, Orzakowski, Pelton, Payton, Phillips, Bruce, Rivera, Rodriguez, Reichert, Slichter, Smith, Snyder Ben, Snyder Blaine, Spellman, Wallace, Ward Kelly, Ward Shalin, Watkins, Whitmer, and Zimmerman. There are 44 senators present.
Right, with that, is there a motion to adjourn? Senator Coker. It's been moved and seconded to adjourn until next Thursday, 7 p.m. in Wildcat Chamber. Sit off.